Argentina and Spain are about to meet in the World Cup final, yet their senior national teams have faced each other only 14 times. The rivalry began here, in Madrid, on December 7, 1952. Argentina won 1-0 through Ricardo Infante. 7 months later, in Buenos Aires, Ernesto Grillo delivered another 1-0 victory. Then, in 1960, José Sanfilippo scored twice as Argentina won 2-0. 3 matches, 3 Argentine victories. 4 goals scored, none conceded. Before the rivalry had developed any modern mythology, the Albiceleste had already built a commanding lead. But the next meeting would introduce one of football's strangest historical connections and give Spain its first answer. In Seville in 1961, Spain finally broke through. Luis del Sol opened the scoring, and Alfredo Di Stefano completed a 2-0 victory. Di Stefano had been born in Argentina, represented Argentina earlier in his career, and later became one of Spain's defining players. 5 years later, the countries met in England at the 1966 World Cup. This remains their only previous senior competitive meeting. Piri equalized for Spain, but Luis Artemé scored twice, including the winner, to give Argentina a 2-1 victory. After 5 meetings, Argentina led the series 4 wins to 1. More importantly, Argentina owned the only World Cup result between them, a fact that survives all the way to the 2026 final. Spain began closing the distance in 1972. Juan Manuel Asensi scored the only goal in Madrid, reducing Argentina's advantage to 4 wins against 2. 2 years later in Buenos Aires, Roberto Rogel and Piri traded goals in the rivalry's first draw. Then came a 14-year silence. When the teams returned in Seville in 1988, Argentina were reigning world champions, with Claudio Caniggia representing a new generation. Emilio Butragueño scored for Spain, Caniggia answered for Argentina, and the match ended 1-1. The victory count had stopped moving, but cumulative goals and the identity of the players showed how much football had changed. Across 36 years, neither country had managed to turn these meetings into a regular rivalry. The series tightened sharply in the 1990s. In 1995, goals from Julen Guerrero and Juan Antonio Pizzi gave Spain a 2-1 victory in Madrid. Spain had finally drawn level with Argentina on 4 victories each. 4 years later in Seville, Argentina responded. Mauricio Pochettino and Kili Gonzalez scored in a 2-0 win, restoring Argentina's advantage. After 10 meetings, Argentina led 5 victories to 4, with 2 draws. The margins were small, and home advantage offered no guarantee. Both countries had already won on the other's soil. This was becoming a rivalry of short bursts, one country finding momentum, then waiting years for the other to answer. Spain's most important transformation was approaching. In Murcia in 2006, David Villa and Xavi scored in a 2-1 victory. The result leveled the series at 5 wins each. 3 years later, European champion Spain met Diego Maradona's Argentina in Madrid. Lionel Messi scored from the penalty spot, but Xabi Alonso struck twice, and Spain won 2-1. For the first time in 57 years, Spain led the head-to-head record, 6 victories to 5. That match also revealed 2 teams moving in different directions. Spain were building the system that would win the 2010 World Cup. Argentina were still searching for the structure that could convert extraordinary attacking talent into control. 10 months after Spain became world champions, the teams met at the Monumental in Buenos Aires. Argentina produced its most complete modern response. Lionel Messi opened the scoring with a delicate finish. Gonzalo Higuain, Carlos Tevez, and Sergio Aguero followed. Fernando Llorente scored Spain's only goal, and Argentina won 4-1. The victory pulled the series level again at 6 wins each. It also created a useful warning about friendly results. Spain had just won the greatest prize in football, yet Argentina defeated them convincingly. A head-to-head score can describe what happened on one night. It cannot automatically measure which team was stronger across an entire era. The final completed meeting came in Madrid in 2018, and it changed the totals dramatically. Spain won 6-1, the largest margin in the history of this matchup. Isco scored a hat-trick, while Diego Costa Thiago Alcantara and Iago Aspas added the other goals. Nicolas Otamendi scored for Argentina. The result was striking because both teams were preparing for the World Cup in Russia. Spain looked fluid and ruthless. Argentina looked exposed without Lionel Messi, who watched from the stands after missing the match through injury. One extraordinary night added 7 goals to the record. It pulled Spain level on victories and pushed Spain ahead in cumulative scoring, even though it could not erase Argentina's earlier dominance or their win in the only previous World Cup meeting. After 14 matches, the record is almost perfectly divided. Argentina have 6 victories. Spain have 6. 2 matches ended level. Spain lead cumulative goals by the smallest possible margin, 19-18. That is 37 goals in 14 games, an average of just over 2.6 per meeting. The geography adds another layer. Argentina won 3 of the 4 matches played in Buenos Aires and drew the other. Spain earned all 6 of their victories on Spanish soil. Argentina, however, also won twice in Spain and once on neutral ground at the 1966 World Cup. Home advantage mattered, but it never made the result automatic. There's one final distinction. 13 of these games were friendlies. Their only previous competitive senior encounter was Argentina's 2-1 victory in 1966. Friendly matches still reveal players, styles, and moments, but their incentives are different from a World Cup final. Coaches experiment. Substitutions reshape games. Preparation can matter more than the result. The 2026 final therefore becomes only the second competitive senior match between these countries, and the first with a trophy directly at stake. History gives Argentina the earlier dominance and the lone World Cup win. Spain owns the biggest victory and a 1-goal edge across the entire series. The record does not choose the next champion. Before the final begins, the honest historical verdict is a draw. The long gap since 2018 matters as much as the old results. 8 years separate Spain's 6-1 victory from this final. Coaches changed, tactical systems changed, and most of the players who shaped the previous meetings are no longer central figures. Spain arrive as the reigning European champions, built around a new generation. Argentina arrive as defending world champions, with Lionel Messi connecting the current team to the matches of 2009 and 2010. That creates the most compelling contrast in the history of this series. Messi has already scored against Spain twice, yet he has never faced them in a competitive senior international. Spain's new generation has never faced Argentina at all. The historical bars end in perfect balance, while the people deciding the final enter, with almost no direct history between them. So the next match will do more than add one result. It will break the 6-6 tie, create the first competitive meeting in 60 years, and give one country an advantage that carries a World Cup trophy. 14 previous matches built the question. The 15th will finally force an answer.